I'm Gia. Today, I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. So, you're coming to dinner tonight, right? My mom's voice had that hopeful tone she always used when trying to get the whole family together. Yeah, Mom, I'll be there, I replied, already dreading the inevitable comments from my brother. Is Marcus bringing Elaine? Of course! And the kids! It'll be so nice to have everyone together. I know you want us all to get along, Mom, I said, running a hand through my hair. I'm trying, I really am. That's all I ask, sweetheart. 6 o'clock. Don't be late. I sighed after hanging up. Family dinners were supposed to be pleasant, but my brother Marcus had a way of turning them into an opportunity to showcase his supposed superiority. Ever since we were kids, he'd always needed to one-up me. When I got A's, he had to get A+. When I made varsity track, he had to become team captain of 2 sports. And now, at 34, he still hadn't outgrown it. You don't sound thrilled about tonight, Jordan commented, leaning against my office doorway. As my closest friend at the marketing firm where we both worked, she could read my moods easily. Family dinner with Marcus? Need I say more? Ah, the perfect brother with the perfect wife, perfect kids, and perfect life who never lets you forget it? That's the one. And I'm sure he's got fresh material about my single status ready to go. What's his problem anyway? You're successful, happy, and absolutely crushing it at work. Some people would kill for your life. He's always been like this, I explained. If I'm not living life his way, I'm doing it wrong. Want me to call with a fake emergency halfway through? Jordan offered. Tempting, but no. I've been avoiding these dinners for months. Mom sounded so excited. Well, text me if you need an escape plan. And remember, your life is amazing, Gia. Don't let him convince you otherwise. I nodded, but deep down I was tired of just nodding and taking it. Maybe it was time for a different approach. I might actually have another plan this time, I said mysteriously. Oh? Do tell. Let's just say I've been gathering some interesting information. Marcus isn't as perfect as everyone thinks. Jordan raised an eyebrow. Be careful, Gia. Family drama can get messy. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. That evening, I pulled up to my parents' suburban home, taking a deep breath before heading inside. My dad opened the door with a warm hug. There's my girl. Come in, everyone's already here. Great, I muttered under my breath. The house smelled like Mom's famous pot roast, a comfort food that couldn't quite compensate for the discomfort of what was to come. In the living room, Marcus sat with his perfect posture on the couch, his arm around Elaine, who looked tired. Their 2 children were quietly playing with tablets in the corner. Well, look who finally made it, Marcus announced, checking his watch dramatically. Only 20 minutes late this time. Good to see you too, Marcus, I replied with a forced smile. Hi, Elaine, how are you? Elaine gave me a small smile. I'm good, just busy with the kids and the charity gala planning. That must be a lot of work. Do you need any help with? Elaine has it under control, Marcus interrupted. She's very organized. Plus, she has time since she doesn't have to worry about a career. I noticed Elaine's smile falter slightly. How thoughtful of you to decide that for her, I replied, maintaining my smile while making direct eye contact with my brother. My mother appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. Dinner's ready, everyone. Come sit down. As we settled around the table, I noticed the seating arrangement put me directly across from Marcus. Perfect. So, Gia, how's work? My father asked as he carved the roast. Actually, it's going really well. I just landed the Horizon account last week. Horizon Technologies? My dad asked, looking impressed. That's a big one. Yeah, it was a competitive pitch, but my team nailed it. We're starting the campaign rollout next month. That's nice, Marcus said dismissively. I just closed a deal that'll increase our company's revenue by 30% this quarter. Tyler was impressed, said he'd never seen negotiations handled so smoothly. How wonderful, I replied sweetly. How is Tyler? I ran into him at the Chamber of Commerce event last month. He mentioned some concerns about the Westfield project. I noticed Marcus's jaw tighten. Tyler worries too much. Everything's fine. That's not what I heard, I said casually, serving myself some potatoes. He seemed pretty stressed about the corners being cut. Can we not talk business at dinner? My mother interjected nervously. Elaine, how are the kids doing in school? Dinner progressed with the usual small talk, but I could feel Marcus glaring at me whenever our parents weren't looking. I knew he was waiting for his moment, and sure enough, it came when my mom brought up my cousin's recent wedding. It was such a beautiful ceremony, she gushed. And Jessica looked so happy with David. They're perfect together. Speaking of which, Marcus said, turning to me with a smirk. Still single, huh, Gia? Must be lonely being a failure in that department. The table went silent. My mother looked mortified, my father uncomfortable, and Elaine stared down at her plate. Marcus, my mother finally exclaimed. But I just smiled. I'd been waiting for this. Actually, Marcus, I've been thinking about what success really means lately, I said calmly. Is it having a marriage where your wife looks miserable every time you speak for her? Is it having business partners who are secretly documenting your ethical violations? Or is it having children who are so afraid of disappointing you that they don't even ask for help with homework anymore? Marcus's face darkened. What are you talking about? I'm just wondering what metrics you're using to measure success. Because from where I'm sitting, I have a career I love, friends who respect me, and the freedom to live authentically. I don't need to belittle others to feel good about myself. You don't know what you're talking about, he hissed. Don't I? Tyler came to me last week, you know. He wanted my advice on how to approach you about the falsified environmental reports on the Westfield project. He was worried about your reaction. That's a lie, Marcus said, but his face had gone pale. And Elaine, I continued, turning to my sister-in-law. Remember when you called me crying last month after Marcus told you that charity work wasn't a real job and that you should be grateful he provides for you? I still have the texts. Elaine's eyes widened. She looked from me to Marcus, who was now gripping his fork so tightly his knuckles were white. Gia, that's enough, my father said sternly. No, Dad, it's not. We've all enabled Marcus for too long. He's been treating everyone around him terribly, and we just smile and take it because keeping the peace is easier than confronting the truth. And what truth is that? Marcus challenged, his voice dangerously low. That you're insecure, that you need to put others down to feel important, that your perfect life is built on making everyone around you feel small. You're just jealous, he sputtered. Am I? Then why did Tyler ask me to join him for a meeting with the company's board next week? Something about concerns over your leadership? Marcus stood up abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. You've always been pathetic, Gia. Always trying to undermine me. No, I've always been honest. There's a difference. And I'm done letting you make me feel like my life choices are somehow inferior to yours. Marcus, is what Gia's saying true? My father asked quietly. About the Westfield project? Of course not. She's making it up because she's bitter about being alone. So I'm making up the emails too? I countered. The ones where you told your team to handle the inspectors and make the problems go away? Those emails Tyler forwarded to me? Marcus's face went from red to ashen in seconds. Elaine cleared her throat. Actually, Marcus, you did say those things to me. About my charity work not being important. All eyes turned to Elaine, who rarely contradicted her husband in public. I was just joking, Marcus backpedaled. You know I support your charity stuff. Do I? Elaine asked, her voice stronger now. Because you've made it pretty clear that you think my contributions don't matter. This is ridiculous, Marcus scoffed. Mom, Dad, are you going to let them gang up on me like this? My mother looked confused and hurt. We just want the truth, Marcus. The truth? I interjected. The truth is that Marcus has been mistreating Elaine for years. The truth is that his business practices are questionable at best. The truth is that his kids are afraid of him. Just watch how they tense up when he raises his voice. As if on cue, we all glanced at Marcus's children, who were indeed looking anxious as the adults argued. This is all lies, Marcus insisted. Elaine, tell them. But Elaine was staring at her plate again, silent tears running down her cheeks. I think we should go, she said finally, standing up. Kids, get your things. You're not going anywhere, Marcus snapped. We're not done with dinner. I think we are, Elaine replied with unexpected firmness. And we have a lot to talk about when we get home. My father stood up too. Marcus, I think you need to cool down. Maybe it's best if you all go home and we can discuss this another time. Fine, Marcus snarled, throwing his napkin on the table. But don't think this is over, Gia. You've crossed a line. No, Marcus, I've finally drawn one. After they left, an uncomfortable silence fell over the dining room. My parents looked shell-shocked. Was all that true? My mother finally asked. Every word, I confirmed. I wasn't planning to bring it up like this, but I'm tired of him treating everyone badly and getting away with it. My father ran a hand over his face. We should have stepped in sooner. We just thought it was normal sibling rivalry. It went way beyond that a long time ago, Dad. My phone buzzed with a text from Jordan. How's it going? I texted back. Nuclear. Call you later. The fallout was swift. Tyler and the board called for an audit of the Westfield project the following week, finding numerous violations that Marcus had authorized. He was placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. Elaine called me 2 days after the dinner. I've been thinking about what you said, she began hesitantly, about how Marcus treats me. I'm sorry if I put you in an awkward position, I told her. No, I needed to hear it. Sometimes you need someone else to name what you're experiencing before you can face it yourself. What are you going to do? I'm taking the kids to my sister's for a while. I've already called a lawyer. If you need anything, I'm here. I know. Thank you for that. 3 weeks later, I was having coffee with Jordan when my phone rang. It was my mother. Have you heard from Marcus? She asked, her voice tight with worry. No, why would I? He's not answering our calls. Elaine said he moved out of the house last week, and Tyler told your father that Marcus has been asked to resign from the company. I'm not surprised, I replied. His actions have consequences, Mom. But he's your brother, Gia. Family is supposed to stick together. Family is also supposed to treat each other with respect. Marcus never did that. After hanging up, Jordan looked at me curiously. Do you feel bad about what happened? Should I? I don't know. He's still your brother. A brother who spent years making me feel worthless for being single, for prioritizing my career, for living my life differently than he lived his. He didn't just do it to me. He did it to his wife, his business partner, even his kids. All I did was stop protecting him from his own behavior. And now? Now he gets to experience the consequences of his actions. Maybe he'll learn from it. Maybe he won't. But I'm not responsible for fixing him. 6 months later, I ran into Marcus at a gas station. He looked different, less polished, more worn down. He was pumping gas into an older model car, a far cry from his usual luxury sedan. Gia, he acknowledged me stiffly. Marcus, how are you? Like you care, he scoffed. Enjoying watching my life fall apart? I never wanted your life to fall apart. I just wanted you to stop tearing others down. Well, mission accomplished. I lost my job. Elaine took the kids and half of everything. Mom and Dad barely speak to me. Happy now? That wasn't my goal, I said honestly. But those aren't things I did to you, Marcus. They're the natural results of how you treated people. Save the lecture, he muttered. I get it. I'm the bad guy in everyone's story now. You could change that, you know. It's not too late to become a better person. He laughed bitterly. Why would I take advice from you? You're still single, still alone. And that's all you see, isn't it? I replied, shaking my head. After everything that's happened, you still think being single is some kind of failure. That's your problem, Marcus. You've never understood that people can be happy following different paths. Whatever helps you sleep at night, he mumbled, avoiding my gaze. I smiled. And yet, I'm happy. I have meaningful relationships, work I'm proud of, and peace with who I am. Can you say the same? He didn't answer, just finished pumping his gas and got back in his car without another word. As I watched him drive away, I felt a strange mix of emotions. Sadness for the relationship we might have had, relief that I'd finally stood up for myself, and hope that maybe, just maybe, this wake-up call would lead him to change. My phone rang. It was Jordan. "Hey, you won't believe who I just saw," I began. "Tell me later. I've got big news. I've been promoted to creative director." "Jordan, that's amazing. We need to celebrate. Dinner tonight?" "Absolutely. And Gia, thanks for always believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. That's what real support looks like." As I hung up, I realized that was the difference. Real relationships aren't about competition or putting others down to feel superior. They're about lifting each other up, celebrating successes, and being honest when someone's behavior is harmful. Marcus had built his life on making others feel small. I'd chosen to build mine on genuine connections. And looking at where we each ended up, I knew which path led to true success. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to stand up to someone who constantly put you down? And if so, what finally gave you the courage to draw?